Hey, Adam from Sklar Bikes here, and today we're going to go over some of the details on our PBJ, or Performance Basket Jammer Frameset. PBJ is what a lot of people would call an ATB, or all-terrain bike. I started building the PBJ back around 2018 when I was still a custom frame builder. I would build these bikes to order. As sort of a stock model, it was really my transition out of the custom frame building world and into production. Those early bikes really got a cult following, and so I'm excited to finally have these available in more of a production setting, available to a lot more people. My riding background is in mountain biking. That's really how I got into bikes, through cross-country mountain bikes, and then later through like bike packing, bike touring sort of stuff, and then more gravel riding and a lot of trail riding. And I think that really shows in the design of the PBJ. I've been thinking about it lately. It's sort of the mountain biker's gravel bike or the gravel biker's mountain bike. It does both pretty well. It's a really fun all-arounder, and I think that's why so many people love it. All right, that's enough history. Let's take a look at the frame. So the first thing you'll notice about the PBJ frame set is that it's made out of tubes, but not just any tubes. The PBJ is made with custom-drawn, size-specific tubing. Wow. Which means we didn't just design the geometry and spacing and things like that. The tubing for every size of the frame is different, and that's to make it flex better for a better ride quality. Ride quality is a term we use to describe how a frame feels when you're pushing it through a corner or going through rough terrain. Basically, it's how the frame flexes under load. If a frame is too stiff, then it can be really harsh, it can be chattery in rough terrain. So we want to make it flexible enough that our wheels stay planted on the ground, which means more traction, more comfort, all around better. It's really easy to make a frame that is harsh and too stiff, but it's really challenging to make one that is just right. And I think we've done that with the PBJ with some of the tubing we've used here, which we'll go into now. A frame is nothing without a fork, and a nice fork, as we talked about, keeps that wheel planted on the ground, keeps you comfortable all day. This fork uses some custom drawn tubing just for us. It's a special taper and butting profile that provides enough strength to carry all this stuff with all these mounting points we have here. You'll notice we have cargo cages, we have mounts for a rack and fenders, also a mid-blade mount for a bag support, a mount at the crown, also for a rack or a light. And it also has internal dynamo routing for a dynamo wire in case you want to run one of those, which I often do on this bike. You also notice the cooled BMX style through axle dropouts, 110mm boost spacing, as well as the 180mm post mount brake mounts, which are another cool feature. If you're going to take the time to do it from scratch, you might as well make it fun and look cool. And I'm really proud of this fork. It's something really different than anything else out there right now. Where I used to make dropouts like this from scratch in my shop, welding together pieces of plate, and now I can have them cast in the factory, which is much stronger, much more efficient, much more affordable. We get to make cool forks like I used to make by hand, and now they're available to a lot of people, which is just really fun to see. The fork is also 100mm suspension corrected, which means that this distance from the axle to the crown is about the same as a 100mm suspension fork. That's nice because this bike makes actually a really fun kind of cross-country mountain bike if you want to go ride some trails, or if you're doing a tour with more single track or rougher terrain, you might want to put a suspension fork on there. One thing to note is that the fork uses a straight 1 1/8 inch steer tube, even though the frame has a tapered head tube. Suspension forks use a tapered steer, which is the reason the frame has that, even though we have a straight steer. And having a straight steer on the fork saves us about a pound, which is really substantial weight. And it also makes the fork ride better. There's not really much of a weight penalty for having the tapered head tube, and then we can run suspension. So in my opinion, it's a great system to get to do both of those things in a pretty elegant way. Moving on to the frame, you'll notice the nice ovalized top tube. And it's sort of a signature look for Sklar. Even though a lot of our top tubes are curved and ovalized, this one's straight. That looks cool, but it also allows the frame to flex more up and down, and it's a little bit stiffer side to side. As I like to say, laterally stiff, yet vertically compliant. As with all Sklars, we've got 3 bottle mounts, so 2 on the inside of the front triangle. This one on the down tube is a triple mount for like a cargo cage, or you can run 2 different positions if you like. And then there's also a mount on the bottom of the down tube here. Something fun to note also is that the down tube is ovalized at the bottom bracket, which I always liked when I was hand building frames, because you have less heat affected zone here at the seat tube. When you have a lot of overlap there, you have to put a lot of heat and welding there, which makes for a less strong joint. And there's also some argument to be made about the tube shaping, changing the stiffness of the frame. The bottom bracket shell here is just a standard BSA, which is your good old-fashioned normal threaded bottom bracket. You know, one of the big complaints people have about bicycles these days is press fit, creaky stuff. Most brands are going back to threads, and this is a standard that's been used for over 100 years, so we're pretty sure it's sticking around. The seat tube, 35mm seat tube, which is so that we can run a 31.6mm dropper post. It's really fun to ride a rigid bike with a dropper post. It makes it pretty capable on trail. It's just a nice thing to have. Of course, you don't have to run one, but you like it, and there's a port here for internal routing for your dropper. You also notice the seat clamp here, which ships with every frame. A nice little detail, and one less thing to worry about when you're putting your bike together. Something really special about the PBJ is the tubing that's in the rear end. So, of course, first you might notice the chainstay yoke, which is this cast piece here that allows a large tire to fit with the chainring. And these frames fit easily a 2.8. A lot of 3.0 tires can squeeze in there. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but if you're someone who's okay with almost no tire clearance, it does spin. And I've run 3s on mine for a little bit, but I definitely prefer a less big tire. So one thing I've done for a long time with all of my bikes is to make an asymmetric chainstay, which is a cool way that you can really tune in ride quality, because the whole rear end is locked together at the axle. So it's really flexing as one system. And to mix and match some different tubes, we can really fine tune how it feels. So that's something special about the chainstays, and pairs nicely with the seat stays, which are also specific to every size of frame. So the larger frames have a larger diameter seat stay for bigger riders and the bigger distance that they're spanning, whereas the smaller frames have a lesser diameter of seat stay, which makes the rear end more flexible for smaller riders, and also because it's a shorter structure, we want to add material flex in there so it's not too stiff. On the seat stays, we also have a bunch of mounting points, which are great for a variety of purposes. These two here, great for a rear rack. I like running a rear rack for touring with like some mini panniers or a dry bag on there. Stay tuned for a special rack coming from Sklar soon. You can also use those mounts for fenders, which is cool. And there's also this mount here on the inside of the seat stays, which is intended for a bag support. A lot of people like running just a rear bag these days, and you can use like a Rod Stewart or some kind of U mount to support your bag there. Of course, One important feature about the PBJ is the sliding dropouts. And sliding dropouts have a number of benefits. The most obvious one is you can single speed your bike without running a chain tensioner, which is nice for the single speeders out there. I also really like that on a touring bike because I found myself in cases of an exploding derailleur, having to single speed my way out, or even worse when your friend's derailleur explodes and you're the one with adjustable dropouts, so you give them your derailleur and you ride out single speed. Ask me how I know about that one. The adjustable dropouts, you can also mess with your chainstay length, which in 25 millimeters of adjustment, you're not going to see a huge difference in handling, but it is something that's fun to mess around with. Of course, another advantage is that we have a modular system. So for example, we sell this kit at SklarBikes.com that allows you to run a UDH, Universal Derailleur Hanger, which works with SRAM's new transmission drivetrains. So you can just bolt this on there and you're set to go with whichever drivetrain you really want to run. You can also run a single speed specific dropout with no hanger for a very clean aesthetic. The frames though, they ship with a standard derailleur hanger and a 160 millimeter post mount. One of the most overlooked elements of frame design is cable routing. And when I was building custom frames, I tried a lot of different ways to route cables. And I'm pretty happy with the way that I've settled on for pretty much all my bikes as sort of a standard system. So we have these bolt-on modular cable guides here. The PBJ ships with a 3-holder, so it's got one 5 millimeter for hydraulic hose and two 4 millimeter for mechanical for a rear derailleur and for the dropper post. So those run under the down tube. Then we have zip tie guides for cable because hydraulic hose is a pain to cut, and so if you can avoid doing that, that's always nice. And then some classy loop stays, which are sort of a nod to a more traditional cable routing back there. It ends up being really clean, really easy to maintain. Full housing is great. You don't get dirt or grime in your cables. It's a closed system. In many years of trying all sorts of different things, I found this to be the best way to route cables. And mechanics agree, for the most part, that I know. So that's the Performance Basket Jammer, or the PBJ. Thanks for watching. You can check out all of the specs and information, build kits, everything at sklarbikes.com. And of course, if you have any questions, please shoot us an email, hello@sklarbikes.com.